Hey guys, it's Julie. I did the article that I chose to do out of the three that we read. It was the Some Early Child Experiences Shape Adult Life, but which ones? This little article. Um, I personally, I thought this article was pretty interesting. Like, you realize in your life that uh, you develop with what your parents have taught you all throughout your childhood, but you also grow from your genetics, all those different things. But, it was quite interesting to think, like, the little pieces could develop so much in your life. Like, when they shared the babies that were separated and from their parents in this article, and there was babies that were fine as soon as they got separated from their parents. They were crying, but as soon as they got joined with their parents again, they were happy. While the other side of the babies, they were extra sensitive, so they struggled to trust their parents again, which made them extra sensitive, in quotations, and which proved in one of the researchers that they included in this article was that they had a harder time trusting their parents, and which could cause them to be more likely to report to feel anxious socializing and attending parties as a grown teenager, which is crazy. From like that little time as a baby and doing that little bit of a thing could potentially cause you to be anxious in those kind of events, which is quite interesting in my factor. Because you wouldn't think that that one little piece, like just that one time, could possibly do it, even though it probably wouldn't. But I found this article pretty interesting. You didn't think the other study that showed that they they potentially studied 243 babies from the time that they were born until the age of 32 is a pretty good study that I personally would trust, because that's a hard study to do, from watching someone grow from being born to 32 years old and seeing how they developed in their complete lifetime to an adult is pretty interesting. And yeah, so I found this article pretty interesting, and it did correlate a lot with our studies. And yeah. Number two, do you think it's possible that early emotional support can affect the education, social life, and romantic relationships in adulthood? Yes, it can. As I stated previously, what your parents teach you, how you grow up in a certain setting, those little things can really affect you and how you present things, how you treat others. It's crazy how that can do so much to you, and how you treat people and how you act, how you get anxious, if you get along with people, if you don't like people, that kind of thing. I personally believe I do. My parents, they definitely were very supportive of me all my life. Even when we were in the roughest times of our life, they made sure that I was first before them, which is amazing, and which made me become more, not heartfelt, but more thankful for others, and make sure I go all the way in helping others. Like, that little thing that my parents did created me to be a better person in this world, and as I will treat the way that they treated me to others, and which creates a better support to people. It kind of went off track there, but you get the idea that that little support can change me and how I act and treat others, and how I kind of like view this world, kind of thing. So I did point out on page 136 and 138 that in the textbook Exploring Lifespan Development, sorry, I'm reading my textbook down here, that it stated in the study that because more than 60% of U.S. mothers with a child under the age of 2 are employed, they are not around their kids in the time where they're developing so much. And they stated that because the infants and young children are exposed to poor quality childcare, score lower on measures of cognitive, language, academic, and social skills during the preschool, elementary, and secondary school years. And it's not because the parents don't care, it's just because they don't give enough time or is around them enough to give them that extra time and support to give them that, and during that really strong and important development time of that baby. And it's, like I said, it blows my mind how that can affect a kid so much by that period. And that was on page 136, which is quite interesting. And then on page 138, I wanted to point out, like, I think I said it's kind of going for question 2 and 3, because 3 is, do you think it's possible early experiences influence anxiety disorders in adolescence? Yes, it does. If I personally believe that early emotional support can affect it, then I believe that early experiences can cause anxiety in adolescence in a kid. So like they page 136 that I just stated goes along with page number 3, and then so does this example I'm going to bring up now. On page 138 in chapter 5, it states that children living in persistent poverty are likely to show gradual declines in intelligence test scores and achieve poorly when they reach school age. These problems are largely due to stressful home environments that undermine children's ability to learn and increase the likelihood that they will remain poor as adults. That's a big one. And you grow up in those kind of things, but I don't know, that's just some of these examples that they put in this textbook really put you into perspective. Like, this happens a lot, and this is a big deal. Like, this actually affects people this much. Yeah, so I mean, what they state are largely due to, these problems continue because of largely stressful home environments. This person, the baby that grew up in that, could develop into anxiety or having trouble developing into this world because they think, oh, I'm poor, I have an awful home life, it's so stressful all the time, here's anxiety, here's I don't know how to handle life, those kind of things. Yeah, these chapter 4, 5, and 6 was very important and really does relate to these questions, especially on this article and the other ones. But yeah, I personally believe that this article was amazing. It was really interesting, and I learned more than I thought. I knew I was going to learn stuff, but I didn't think I would really learn this much and go into this much depth about this stuff, or how little of things can greatly affect others, but it does. So, yeah, it's quite interesting, and I hope I made some good points. All my work was from the Exploring Lifespan Development, and also that article of some early childhood experiences shape adult life, but which ones? So I'll put the references in the comments, but I hope you guys enjoyed my little discussion post, and I wish you guys all the best of luck in this semester. Bye!